Welcome to the Damn Tonight Show. What is there to really say? Part of me wants to say that let's all be friends. Despite our differences, this is a time we can come together. While another part of me wants to call out people for grandstanding or taking advantage of the situation, or on the other side, call out the people calling out other people for not being more gracious. It's good to get your panties in a bunch, but let's do it about the things that matter long term. This is a great time to come together and realize both sides, all sides, are just people looking for some toilet paper. Everybody poops. So I'll end this segment with this. I love you, and I hope you're safe. There are a ton of resources out there and more coming out every day. Do some Googling and find a cause to donate to or benefit from if you can or need. Austin's true colors are showing, and I'm confident that the rainbow at the end of this storm will be rather impressive. Until then, take time to reach out to loved ones, and especially those in our community that are high risk for disease, but also don't overlook the people that are high risk for loneliness. As we stare down the barrel of this new paradigm, there are people out there that won't have any social interaction because of this. Think about them. Reach out to them. Throughout human history, we've used stories and relationships to cope with major obstacles, and that got me thinking. I'd like to start a love letter to Austin from Austin musicians. Because friends, we need love now more than ever. So I ask you, why do you love Austin? Tell me in the comments below and I'll compile them all into a letter we can use to remind us of what we're missing, but also, and most importantly, what we have to look forward to when we return to our new normal. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, and I gotta say, I'm really fond of you, Austin. So wash your hands, live stream, support your community. This is much, much bigger than music. So let's all do this together better. We'll be right back with Louie Carr after this message. Austin Music Television on Channel 16 is made possible by Support Austin Music. Support Austin Music is a cooperative of Austin-based musicians and their supporters creating compilations of music videos for airing on Austin Public Channel 16. The music videos are compiled into hour-long episodes and are aired weekly. Check your cable provider for the specific channel, and Austin Public Access Channel 16 live feed is available on the website for those of you who are unable to get it on your television. Support Austin Music Television. Support Austin Music. Welcome back to the Damn Tonight Show. I am here with the incredible Louie Carr. And Louie, just for the people out there that may not be familiar with who you are, just kind of give them the rundown of your story real quick.
So my name is Louie, and I am a music manager here in Austin, Texas. I manage two artists, Jackie Venson and then Gina Chavez, and also do consultations with independent artists on the side, and some venues, just really anyone that needs digital marketing strategy and music business strategy or just advice. Right.
I kind of look at you as like the Swiss Army knife of the local music industry, because you're doing so much so well.
I appreciate that.
Kind of give me your overall philosophy and kind of how you approach what you're doing.
Sure. Well, for social media, it's all about whatever they're pushing at the time, and a lot of these companies have blogs, where they put their press releases and they just put like tech updates and software updates, and not a lot of the time, I should say, it doesn't get a lot of news unless it's like a huge feature. But usually if you read between the lines, you can see whatever they're going to be pushing, whether it's Facebook groups or going live. I mean, that's the obvious thing now, but Jackie and I have been on that tip for like 2.5 years.
Yeah. Y'all were on that super early.
Staying ahead of the curve, really trying to innovate. The tough thing right now is or I guess it's not even tough because it's always going to be this way, but, finding whatever separates you from the pack right now, especially with everyone pushing for digital, even people that traditionally didn't do digital as well or as often, which is great. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, I can't remember. I've had so many conversations in the last week, but one of the things we were talking about was how great it is that we live in the age of the internet, especially when it comes to music. Like, if this was 2005 or 95, I mean, what do you do?
I mean, like the capabilities we have now are insane. And I'm so glad to see that you're actually using those, music and art.
Both of my artists stream tonight. Jackie's actually live right now.
Nice.
And it can catch like wildfire sometimes. Like I saw the DJ, that local DJ that had like 2,000 people watching him live last night. But we've had like 800 before. I think she's got like 100 right now. So it's a good crowd. The nice thing about it is you can get a lot of legs after the stream too.
Yeah. Oh, I think the one you did last night's like 25,000 views this morning.
And okay, so we went to bed at like 3, and then I got up at like 8, and just in those 5 hours, it had gone up like 10,000 views. It was crazy. But everyone's at home.
Yeah, so let's venture into that. Like now that everything's canceled, nobody's leaving the house
for 2 months. Looks like we're staring down the barrel at least 2 months.
I know you're doing the consultation stuff, and what's your strategy with your artist on how hard are you going to be hitting live stream? Kind of what else are you going to be doing? What's up your sleeve? How are you reacting to all this?
Well,
really,
I've always been one to try to think outside of the box. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of what you have to lean into right now, you know? Well, you got to get your digital house in order, you know? Kind of look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, see where that lines up digitally, and then make sure everything is, you know, up to date, looks good, sorted properly. And then for us, a lot's changed, but not a lot's changed. You know, like we lost, say we split tangible reality with digital, right?
Right.
You know, we've lost, let's say, a third of the business in the touring, right? We were already pushing into the digital realm, you know? So in that sense, with Jackie, we're just leaning harder into it. With Gina, we're not necessarily dipping our toes in because she's going full bore too. It's just she's never really done it that way before.
She didn't have the foundation of going live that Jackie has set up at this point.
Right. But she's got really, really eager and enthusiastic fans. And
oh, yeah.
I think it's going well. And, you know, she's a judge for the Tiny Desk contest this year. So
that's awesome.
We've got some ancillary things that'll get some press. And she's just had a new song come out called She Persisted. Yeah. And she's got a bilingual album coming out middle of May. We're talking to Brene Brown right now, who's amazing. I don't know if you are familiar with her.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe Gina's going to be on her podcast. So, you know, we're doing things. It's just, you know, I think one of the best aspects of going live, at least I've seen for Gina and Jackie, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of other musicians, is it gives an outlet to that manic energy. Gina talked about it last night on the stream, and she was saying, like, you get to the point where you're pacing around your house, like stress eating, and you know, for her at least, she went live, and you know, she was interacting with people and playing, and it alleviates that. So I think financially, you know, it makes sense, obviously, to go do the streaming, but mentally, I think there's a benefit to it as well.
And are you monetizing the live stream? Are you taking tip buckets? Kind of like, what's your strategy there?
So with Jackie, it was a tool for marketing mostly before this, you know, where we would push shows or just a general awareness.
Right.
And now it's really becoming a pretty solid force for selling, you know, for merch. You know, it's digital busking. I was talking to an artist. I was doing a consultation yesterday, and I was telling him, you can't think of any of this as selling out. It's physically not possible to sell out when you're an independent artist just trying to make ends meet. I know that there's like that animal that creeps up at the back of your brain that's like, don't post your Venmo or your PayPal or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, it's the opposite feeling. You got to give people the avenue to help you. They want to help. Me alone, I think I've spent like several hundred in the last few days buying merch and tipping through PayPal and Venmo, and it feels great. It directly helps. I was telling Jackie, you know, if we can all pay our bills for the next few months until the dust settles, then we're great.
That's true, but you're doing a lot to help the music community. Now, Louie, we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back with Louie Carr to talk about some of the things he's doing to help the music community right after this. Austin Uncharted is a live studio performance series featuring Austin bands and musicians recorded and filmed at King Electric Recording Studio. Featuring artists like Trouble in the Streets, Aubrey Hayes, Lowen, Jake Lloyd, and so many more. Watch a session and check it out. New bands every 3 weeks, Thursday at midnight, and you can follow their page and be the first to see what's coming up next. Welcome back to the Damn Tonight Show. I'm here with Louie Carr. And Louie, we were talking about a little bit kind of how the situation we find ourselves in. And I want to talk to you about the consulting work you were doing. And I saw your post about offering consulting work for musicians. Just kind of tell me about where that comes from and what you're aiming to do with that.
So, like, sometime last year, I started this Facebook group called the Island of Misfit Managers, where it was just me and a few other Austin independent managers. And we would just get together for drinks and just shoot the shit, release valve. And then when all of this stuff started happening, when you have smart managers and you have these people that have this experience, especially a lot of them are around my age or younger and have a lot of digital experience, this is kind of in our wheelhouse as much as anyone can be prepared. And so I originally made a post on Facebook just offering my services for low or no cost, depending. I wanted to offer a real value, and I can't help everyone. And I got pretty inundated, and I'm glad, because I want to help. But I came together with these artist managers, these other Austin managers, just to kind of, spread the workload. So if I can't make it in my schedule, Reno or Chris or Morgan might be able to fit it in, Right. And with Zoom, we don't have to drive to a coffee shop. We don't have to go get lunch. We can stick to the facts. I'm talking with AMF. We're going to do, hopefully this week, I think we're circling Friday, tentatively Friday. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a panel. Nice. It's going to be me and the other artist managers, just sort of taking questions and letting people talk and reassuring people there is a path forward.
I have to do this. You said there's a path. You have to make your own path.
There you go. Yep, you got it.
Now, what's your kind of philosophy on content creation? Just in general, like you're hitting live stream a lot. What's your album release strategy, video release strategy?
Now is not the time to hold on to content. Now is not the time to sandbag anything. I mean, look at Donald Glover. He just dropped an album yesterday. Do you think that was the plan on January 1? Probably not. But he saw an opportunity, and honestly, so it's two things. It's opportunity, and it's what fans want. I was talking to another artist. He has the setup to live stream on Twitch, him playing old cartridge games. You can't look at yourself as just a musician, because you're not.
Nope.
You're a content creator. You have the keys to a media company. Right now, Jackie and I and the other members of her team, we're going to set up Jackie Venson TV, where we have a live stream going 24 hours of all of her content. She's remixing all of her past albums. I mean, I can hear it through the walls right now. She's DJing. I mean, she was doing this in earnest before everything sort of went sideways. But now, with all the extra time, she's probably put in like 50, 60 hours in the last week, just remixing her music, setting up this DJ stuff, like just having a blast. She calls it Jackie the Robot.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, Gina's diving into the writing. We're wrapping up this album because coronavirus or not, COVID-19 or not, I want a Latin Grammy. That's the goal. That was the goal that we set out with. Gina's had so many really great achievements in her career. I don't think people realize. They see the Austin Music Awards, and that's great. But they don't realize, she was been on Tiny Desk. She had a whole hour on PBS. She's played with and for and on stages. I want to say it was Uzbekistan. She flew to Uzbekistan as a part of initiative with an initiative with the State Department. Right. And she got to play music for the people there and connect with them. My whole goal this year with Gina is that she gets the national recognition that she deserves, because it's come in these one-offs, and we're trying to string it together. It doesn't help when you have 30 or 20 gigs cancel in a week period.
Yeah.
But I said, we're pivoting. We're going to go on podcasts. We're going to do these live streams, and being okay with being uncomfortable.
Right. All right. Before I let you go, Since you are so inundated with all these calls, if someone does get to you and to have this consultation, what's 2 or 3 things they can already have done in order to make your job easier and to get the most value?
Like, make sure your website's up to date. Make sure your socials are up to date. Make sure all of your digital presence is as up to date as you feel like you can make it.
Right.
Do the busy work. Now we have the time to do the busy work. Do the busy work. And then we can start talking bigger strategy.
You can't teach somebody how to run until they can know how to tie their shoes.
Right. So, if they can do that, great. If not, I can walk them through that too.
Right.
Here's another thing. Like, here's another part you need to take your ego out. Like, you're at where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You gotta need to treat things linear. Take one step at a time, and you'll get through it.
Amen. And we will get through this.
We will. When the dust clears, people are going to want to go live to see music live, and I think we're going to see crowds bigger than we've normally ever seen. So, and that's the light at the end of the tunnel for me. Getting back to the point where I could see Jackie and Gina just crushing it.
And there is some of that. There's something to be said about you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I think a lot of the people living in Austin will kind of realize what they had now that it's gone for 2 months. And we may be, look, I'm super ridiculously optimistic. I think this is going to be the renaissance of local music and general, but Austin especially, because people will realize, we kind of miss going out and being a part of my city. So Louie, before you get out of here, kind of tell me what's coming up next, what to look out for online. And
Jackie's got a new album coming out in September. She just released a new single called "Make Me Feel." We did a lyric video that took inspiration from the lo-fi channels.
Yes.
Yeah, her sister Christina set designed it, and she did an amazing job. She's got a master's in interior design. She's a beast. As talented as Jackie is on the guitar, she is creatively in set and dress design. And so we've got that. And then Gina, like I said, has She Persisted. That's out on all platforms. And we're just going to be rolling content out, a lot of content. So follow them. I'm probably going to do some live streams of my own. I think I was toying with the idea of just making pancakes and taking marketing questions. And I think I'm going to do that.
I can't wait to see that. Man, this is the exact thing we need, is sharing knowledge and coming together socially, not physically, and really kind of finding our way out of this thing, man. Louie, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to have you on again real soon.
I appreciate you having me.
It was an absolute pleasure. Be sure to check out Own Path Media Group. Be sure to check out Jackie and Gina, and be safe out there, y'all. We'll be right back after this. The CobraCast podcast with Bobby Sharron is a must-listen in the Austin music community. With over 280 episodes so far, you can tune in to hear Austin musicians and the like share their stories and their music every Monday and Thursday live at 7:30. Check this one out anywhere you get your podcasts, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live. So this is my Why Austin. 12 years ago, I said yes. After 20 years of courtship that began when my Uncle David gave me Stevie Ray Vaughan live at the Austin City Limits and a pair of Pioneer speakers, I fell in love with the city I'm lucky enough to call home now in 2020. I was born in Lawton, Oklahoma, the kind of place where the only culture you get is from books. So when the VHS tape of Stevie Ray Vaughan went into the VCR, it didn't come out. And I'm confident that it's probably still welded in that same VCR in the landfill from the wear and tear I put that thing through. Never before had I seen anything even remotely like it. It didn't necessarily change me, but it did provide a much needed light on the road ahead and at the end of the tunnel. Now here we are a few lifetimes later, and I'm blessed to make a living and support my family with music alone. The city gave me my wife, my 3 kids, and countless unbreakable relationships that have made all the difference. Although I haven't paid much attention to old Stevie Ray Vaughan in the last couple of decades, I may break out the replacement DVD my uncle gave me a few Christmases later, still in the shrink wrap after all these years. Because this life, my life, is only possible because a city like this exists. So thank you, Austin, for this life. Thank you, Austin, for my life. And thanks, Uncle David, for the lifeline of that simple gift. Y'all be safe out there. Let me know when you're going live. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:35. Good night.